Today's session is on FieldWire, so we're going to walk through FieldWire, what it is, how we use it at Ellis Don, and what you need to get started on your project. So this is going to be more of a practical session focused on how it fits in your day-to-day work. So again, I'm Surosha. I'm manager of tech training with digital and data engineering team, and I'm pleased to be co-hosting this session with Brent Collins. He is the Senior Construction Success Manager at FieldWire and the subject matter expert. So FieldWire is part of our enterprise toolset at Ellis Don and is available to all project teams. So I'm not sure if anybody here is new to FieldWire. Raise your hand or let me know if you're new or if you've been using it on an existing project or previous project. Yes, Sarah, you have? Perfect. You're new to FieldWire?
Yeah, I'm a recent hire. I've only been here about 6-7 weeks.
Okay, well, welcome. This
Thanks.
is, okay, perfect. It's a
I'm
perfect
I'm
session
new
for
as
you.
well, Sue.
Okay, so this is a perfect introduction to FieldWire, this session. Okay, so it's primarily used for field collaboration, right? So managing drawings, tracking tasks like deficiencies, and capturing site activity. We can also extend access in FieldWire to like trades, consultants, clients, which helps keep everybody aligned. And really the goal is just to create consistency across the projects. So while still working alongside Gate 3, which remains our system of record. So for those that are new to Ellis Don, everything should be created in Gate 3, stored in Gate 3, and then you can upload it to FieldWire. As I mentioned, it is our system of record. So there is a process. So typically all your documents or drawings, they are uploaded to SharePoint, and then from SharePoint to Gate 3 to FieldWire. All right, let's continue. Right. So as I mentioned, FieldWire is our collaboration tool. So it allows teams to view and mark up drawings, track tasks like deficiencies or coordination items, capture and manage photos, generate reports, work with forms, and Brent's gonna touch on that as well a little later. All right, so this is the agenda. So we're gonna walk through how projects are set up, FieldWire projects, how to manage your project in FieldWire, some of the reporting, functionalities and features in FieldWire forms. If there's time, and if there are any new product releases or enhancements, Brent will talk about those, and we'll leave some time for questions as well. And you can feel free to ask questions actually at any time. And we'll show a quick demo so that you can see how this works in practice. Okay, so I just want to talk a little bit about how projects are set up, FieldWire projects. So they are automatically created by our tech desk at Ellis Don once a project receives a NOCA. So NOCA, for those of you that are not familiar with that term, it stands for Notice of Contract Award. So when Ellis Don is awarded a project, there's a NOCA form, and that is like a trigger to also set up a FieldWire project. So any project that gets set up or awarded also gets a FieldWire project set up. If your project doesn't follow that process, you can contact the service desk or tech desk and they'll set it up for you. From there, project administrators, typically that would be like a project manager or an assistant PM, sometimes a super, who are responsible for structuring the project, adding users, and managing the setup. So it's important to get that set up right early because it basically sets the foundation for how the team will use FieldWire. The tech desk will also apply a standard folder structure when the project is created. And this basically helps to keep things consistent across the projects and makes it easier for teams to navigate their files and their drawings. And of course, you can adjust it if needed, but starting with the standard setup is recommended. Okay. There is a best practice guide that I will be sharing with all of you after this session. I have it here. I'll come back to this, but I do recommend that if you're going to be using FieldWire to really go through this document, it's great. It covers a lot of Elliston's best practices working with FieldWire. Okay. All right. Once the FieldWire project is set up, project team administrators, so again, most likely a PM, an APM, could be a super, can expect to receive an email invitation similar to this one. So you just click go to project and log in, and this is how you access your project for the first time. Okay. And it is single sign-on, and you would sign in with your Elliston email address. So you log in, again, using your Elliston email address and password. And this is what it would look like. Okay. And FieldWire is pretty similar across all devices. I would say so, right, Brent? I think the look and feel is pretty similar, the experience.
Yeah, there are some subtle differences between the iOS app and the web app. We'll definitely show that. Two of the biggest differences are how forms are portrayed from the web version to the iOS version, and also tasks have a little bit of a different user interface. But other than that, the functionality is more or less the same.
Perfect. Thank you.
Mhm.
Okay, let's move on. Yeah, this is just basically if you're going to use the mobile version, you just want to make sure that you enable your project to view on the phone. Okay. All right, let's continue. So I'll sign into FieldWire now, and I'll show you around the app basically. So I'm signed in. Let me just move this little Teams. All right. So I'm actually signed in, but you saw that, this is what it's going to look like. I'm going to sign in. It's going to take you to the view that I'm in right now. Now, of course, typically you'll only see one project. I'm in, I guess you could call it a training environment. So let me select a project here. Okay. So up here, if you have more than one project, it will be listed here and also on that landing page I just showed you. If you ever want to go back to that view I was just in, you just click on home and it'll take you back to this landing page. Okay. So as soon as you go in, this is the first thing you're going to see. These are all your folders, your plan folders. Okay. So this is what I have by default, goes to plans. We'll get into that in just a second, but first I want to show you if you have to add team members. So if you're an administrator, you will be able to add team members, and just making sure I have my proper notes here. So as a member, I believe, yes, you can also add team members, but they need to be approved by the administrator. So there is a table or permissions matrix that you can refer to. So I'll show you where that is. That's also in the best practices in this document, which we'll go into. However, so it's right here. FieldWire does have a great help center. So if you ever need some additional information or not sure how to do something, you can come over to, I'm so used to going through it right here. Okay, so get help, visit the help center tutorial. So I'm going to go over to the help center. And I'm just going to type in here Let's do permissions. And usually it's still loading. Give it a second. It'll auto-populate anything with permissions. Doesn't typically take this long, but maybe I'll hit enter. There we go. Okay. So you'll see here it says Introduction to Project Permission Levels, Administrators, Members, and Followers. So I'm just going to click on that. It'll explain everything, but here is the table. So we'll tell you what a project admin, member, and follower can and can't do. So you can see the admin can pretty much has access to everything. Project member has a little bit more restriction. So again, if you're inviting users, you can, and as a follower, you can as well. However, it will have to be approved by the administrator, right? So you can come in here at any time and take a look based on your access level, what you have access to, okay, or what you can create or delete. Okay. So again, as I mentioned, project admins are typically PMs, APMs. Members are typically the team, right? Your project team. And then followers is more allocated for externals, so consultants, trades, etc. All right, let's come back here. So if you have to add a team member, if you're an administrator, you're going to come over to the bottom left hand of your screen. You'll see this little symbol here, 2 people here. You're going to click on it, and this is where you're going to come to add new team members. So let's see. Who can I add here? So I'm just going to pick someone. And then you'll see that I get the option, it will email them. And then here's where I can select the access that I want to give this person. So admin, member, follower, okay? And then you would just click send invite. I'm not going to do that right now. So once you start inviting people, they'll all be listed here. It'll tell you what type of access they have, or if it's pending. And then as an administrator, you can come in here and change a person's access at any time. Okay. This just means it's part of the enterprise account, so don't worry about this, but here you can come in and edit and remove. Any questions on that? Oh, so let's move on to plans. So again, here's the folder structure, and I'm just going to come over to the best practice, and you'll see here that says eSupport will set up a standard plan folder structure as follows. So this is the convention, so order, number, and then the name. Of course, the folder description, this can be customized or adjusted as needed, right? Based on your project needs, but this is the structure that gets set up automatically. Okay. All right. So now in here, there's probably, if I click on any of these folders, it will expand all the folders or one. Let's see. I haven't been in here in a little while. Okay, so I don't think these have any. Let me go to a different project. I'll try this one. Okay, here we go. Okay, so you just click on the folder, it expands it and shows you all the plans or drawings that are in here. You can always move them if you check this box. You'll notice, 3 dots appear here. And in addition, this actions button becomes available. And you can see all options here as well. And again, this is typically only available for the administrator. In addition to that, if you need to upload a new plan, you would just come up here, click new plan, I have to check if I have any here, but let me double check. No, I do not have. Give me a second. Gate 3. FieldWire.
I have some plans if you want me to
You
fit this
do?
in.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah,
So
if you want me to fit this
I'll
into my
let you,
presentation.
yeah, I'll let you, is that okay, Brent? If you just
Yeah,
quickly show them afterward?
yeah, I'll
Or
take
do
that
you
on.
want, do you want the screen now?
Sure.
Okay. You should be able to present. I had to update the link, so hopefully, if not, let me know.
Yeah, we have been having some difficulties with Teams lately, so let me know when you guys can see my screen.
I can see it.
All right, perfect.
Yeah.
So you're going to see some lagging here, but we're trying to fix this internally. All right, cool. So if I want to update a new set of drawings, first and foremost, I want to show you kind of what's in here already. If I click into this floor plan, the floor plan is going to generate quicker than this, I promise. Again, the screen share through Teams has been giving us some issues over here internally. But down here in the bottom right-hand corner, you're going to see all the different revisions. So you can always go back and look at the historical set based on the bulletin number or the ASI number. I'm just calling these revisions for now. So FieldWire, when you hop into the plans module, you're always going to see the most updated set of drawings on the first layer of each little thumbnail that you see here for each individual drawing. So you don't have to go search for, past revisions and open those up. They're all going to be automatically slip sheeted from this one single view. So if I wanted to update or upload a new set of plans, I can select files for my computer. Again, this is probably going to take a little longer than it should. Sorry, guys. Oh, sorry. I need to redo my organization here. I don't do this every day, but I'm going to go into architectural. I'm going to select a design package. We'll just call this, maybe this is bulletin number 4, and go ahead and open that up. And I have the new drawing package from the engineer or architect. I can go in here and type in the version name before uploading. And it's going to, I mean, if there's, 200 drawings in here, it's going to name it version, Rev 4. I'll go ahead and upload those files. And what FieldWire is doing right now is it's scanning the bottom right-hand corner and it's identifying the sheet number and the description automatically. If you have a multi-page PDF set, that is best. I wouldn't upload individual drawings. I would put them into one single PDF and upload them so the OCR scanner actually works within FieldWire. If you have a multi-page PDF set that is bookmarked through Bluebeam, that is best. FieldWire is going to bypass the OCR scanner and just name them according to the bookmarks, sheet number, and description. That's always best practice. So if you have redundant sheet numbers, FieldWire is going to put up this red banner that says, hey, you have some conflicts. And that's just saying, hey, you already have sheet A1.02, A2.01-1. Are you sure you want to slip sheet these? So we definitely do. So we want to review them sheet by sheet, make sure that the new sheet number that's being identified matches the existing sheet number here, and then add as new revision. And it's going to automatically be the new layer for that sheet and it's going to be labeled Rev 4. So I can go ahead and add as new revision, add as new revision. And again, it's always best practice, right, to go through these one by one. But if you trust FieldWire, you can go up here and resolve all. And it's going to slip sheet all of those sheets. And that's it. So now if I go into that same sheet, the top layer is now revision 4 instead of rev 3. If I go back to all plans, I can always use this filter button up at the top right-hand corner. And if I just want to look at, my rev 4, rev 3, whatever, I can just click on that and it will show me just that specific drawing package, and that's it. But if I don't have any filters applied, all the historical drawings are going to be layered on top of each other. Do you want me to give you the screen back?
No, I think Brent, you can take it from here.
Okay.
Because yeah, might as well. You are the subject matter expert after all.
No, all good. I wasn't sure if you still had some stuff to show on your end.
Well, I have some Alice John best practices, but that stuff I can mention throughout or at the end. Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good. So this is the FieldWire homepage. So when you guys come into FieldWire, you're going to see a whole list of projects, right? Depending on what you've been invited to. So me, I have access to 602 projects, so that could become a lot, right? But I can always star the projects that I'm in the most, and those are going to automatically go to the top of my list here. I can also filter by projects. So I can filter by, labels. So if we have like an Ontario label that's applied to all my projects, I can filter by that. Let me go back into filters here. I can look at archive projects if if I have that account level permission, but I can also search by the project name as well, which is very helpful. So I can type in Ellis Dawn, and I'm gonna hop into this webinar project here, the one that we were just in. So we went over plans, right? We can always select all the plans in a given folder or select individual plans. I can also hold down Shift and select multiple plans at once. And if I hit the Actions menu, I can change the number or the sheet numbers in bulk, or I can export these plans. And I can export these plans with all the drawings or with all the markups on them, or I can turn these layers off and export just clean sheets. And we can export this into one PDF instead of like separate files in a zip. So you have two different options here now. That's a newer feature. That was a big ask by, or not a big ask, but a very common ask regarding feedback from Ellis Dawn. The specifications module acts just the same. You upload a spec book into FieldWire, it's going to identify the 6-digit CSI numbers, and it's going to parse out those submittal sections in bulk. If I click into one of these, we also have versions in here as well. So down here, I don't have another version in here, but down here, you'd be able to look at a previous spec version from a different ASI. Within the spec section, we do have word search. So I have to actually open up the spec book, and then I can use kind of a word search within that spec document. The search up here, just full transparency, it's not going to do a word search through the entire spec book. So this is just going to be able for you to like identify a spec section quicker. It's just kind of a filtering option. So that's something that we're working on internally here to advance the search feature, just nothing has been developed yet. I'm going to hop in. Well, I'll just go through these real quick, but I'm going to hop into forms first. This is our task module. So tasks is a tool that is very heavily used by Elliston. It is a tool that we can track activities in the field, whether it's a deficiency or quality control workflow, punch list, stuff like that. So any activity in the field that you want to track, you can basically develop a workflow in FieldWire to assist with that. We also have a photos module. So these are all just my office, basically, from previous demonstrations. But any photo that you take from within the FieldWire app is automatically going to come here. So you don't have to take a photo from an external device, come back to the trailer, plug it into your computer, load them onto your desktop, and then load them into your software. You can activate the FieldWire camera through the app and just take live photos. And it's automatically going to file them in the photos module from the date that you took them. We also have a files module. So any document outside of plans, specs, tasks, photos, and forms can go in here. So that's contracts, that's change orders, that's RFIs, submittals, your schedules, your contracts, again, owner contracts or subcontracts, right? So we can have folders and subfolders within here. So any kind of like SharePoint file system and organization, you can basically recreate this in FieldWire. Then we have forms, and we also have 3D model capabilities as well. So you can upload multiple IFC files within FieldWire, and it's going to federate that model together so you can access it easily from within FieldWire and on the mobile application as well. We are working on integrating Navisworks and Revit files as well. So that's currently on the roadmap. I think it's anywhere from this quarter to next quarter to be able to support those files directly without having to convert those into IFC models. Now we have forms as well. So daily reports, inspection requests, and quality control are major form workflows within the Elliston organization. You could open up a project in here and see hundreds of different form templates. Mostly it's inspections and quality control, like I was saying, above ceiling inspections, in-wall inspections for multiple subcontractors. So yeah, those are the biggest workflows in regards to forms within FieldWire. So diving into that a little bit deeper, if I wanted to create a new form, I can access a folder here, which is what we call a template that is published. Sorry if you hear my kids scream in the background. It's one of those days. But I just click new form. I give the form a name, so I can call this room 2-01 in wall inspection, HVAC, and create this form. The form's going to populate. This is actually a concrete pre-board checklist, but this is just an example of what the forms in FieldWire can look like. Each one is completely customizable according to a specific workflow. So I probably should have named this concrete pre-pour checklist, but you go in here, you click what's deficient or what's compliant. If anything's deficient, you click the red box, or you click that box twice for a red X, and then you can put in an explanation of what that deficiency is. If I scroll down,
Question: Can you put pictures into that form if you were doing?
You read my mind.
Yep. Oh, okay.
Exactly. So we have signature fields, which are required before you can actually submit this form. So if you're like a follower or a member, you cannot submit this form until someone from Elliston has signed off onto it. So your subcontractors can come in here, put in their information, but they can't submit it until Elliston signs it. So yeah, from the web version, you can upload photos that are on your computer or existing photos that are in FieldWire already that were taken from the field. Or you can access this form from your mobile device and take photos directly from this form. And it's automatically going to add them to the form and to the photos module. I'm going to get into that as well. Just want to go through kind of the web version first. So if I come up here, I can submit the status. You're going to have multiple statuses here. Again, this is just a demo project. You're going to have multiple open statuses like for Ellis Dawn review, submitted and approved and stuff like that. So I can't come in here and submit this until I have, a signature required here. Signatures are going to be a required field. You'll see like a little red star next to a section that's required. That's going to prevent that form from being submitted without a signature, for example. But again, these forms are completely collaborative. So your subcontractors can provide input. Ellis Dawn can provide input. Each individual template will have its own kind of permissions and their own kind of permissions and restrictions. We can filter these forms as well. So if I just want to look at my forms, I can just quickly hit that button, and any form that I'm the assignee on, I can access really quickly. If I want to look at forms that were created in the last 7 days, I can do that as well. Any questions on the forms module? All right. Let's go to tasks. So tasks, again, it's a tool that we can use to track anything out in the field. Now, these are my different statuses. I have punch list, priority 1 through 3, complete and verified. But your projects are going to have different task statuses. We can have up to 20 different task statuses depending on the project team and kind of their use for tasks. So you could see a lot of different statuses here. You can see some reserved for quality control, some reserved for commissioning workflows and whatnot. And as this item of work progresses, we can move them and change the statuses. So when something is complete, we move it into the required complete status. And then when someone from Ellis Dawn goes in and verifies that it is done, they verify it. And that blue color means or the verified means that it's completely done. So kind of like a two-step verification process here. The only people that can put a task into verified would be an admin permission level. So your most trusted people on the project. So these are quick filtering options. So I can go to my tasks. And what that means is I'm actually the assignee on this project or on this particular task. So we have a rough-in inspection that's going on in this room over here. Again, we can pin these to the plans. We have a status that we can change. We have a category, right? Those categories are going to be trade specific for the most part.
Brent, when you get a second,
Yeah.
if you can show them where you're getting the categories from or how they get set up.
Yeah, let's do that first.
Thanks.
Yep. So these are the different categories here, and basically think of if I'm a general contractor and I know of an issue or an activity out in the field, I want to know what that activity or what that deficiency, who's responsible or what element of my project it's related to. So that's why we come up with categories. It's the first attribute that we apply to an activity. So if I just want to look at my framing issues or deficiencies, I click on framing, and those are all of my framing deficiencies that I have on my project. So it's literally the first line of defense to categorize an activity or deficiency out in the field. These little acronyms here, go ahead and change that. We can change these acronyms here to say 06 for framing. And then everything shows up as 06. So as I'm looking through, these tasks, I can see automatically, okay, that's framing, right? Or, maybe countertops are 6A or something like that, right? So it's the first, it's how we basically categorize our tasks. Does that all make sense? And these are just,
yeah, absolutely. And you can also set it up by trade or consultant as well. So, and you're going to show them in the task when you select the category.
Yeah.
We can speak to that. I think Ricky has a question.
What's up, Ricky?
Basically, you have them set up by the divisional?
Yes.
Oh, cool. Thanks.
Yep, you got it. So again, we have them all the way through paving, utilities. We have one for commissioning here. And then we have some more general tasks, attributes for like punch lists or something like that. So again, just very quick filtering options in our first line of defense to categorize these activities. So I can go to the plans and you see these task categories remain on the screen when I click on plans, because these blue dots are going to let me know how many tasks I have pinned or associated with each individual plan sheet. So if I want to see where an issue is, I can click on a category and I can see where those deficiencies lie within my drawings. I'm going to show you how to create a task real quick. So let's say we know of a deficiency out in the field. Jeez. I'm going to go over to this markup toolbar here. I'm going to click on that task module. I click and drag to where that deficiency is. I enter a title, and I can call this drywall damage. Hit the blue check mark. Come over here and give it a status. Call this punch list for now. And I give it a category. Drywall. Now I can even assign this to my subcontractor that is out there as well. They're going to automatically get a push notification on their phone or on their iPad instantly. I can select a location. I can give it a start date and an end date. Let's say I saw it today and I need it done by the 22nd. When this due date hits, this assignee will get an email notification as well that that task is due on that day. We can do manpower and cost. That's really not used by Elliston, but what is definitely going to be important, especially for any deficiency that you find in the field, is you click this label icon. There's going to be multiple different selections, but if this is a deficiency, you have to click deficiency under this label attribute. What that's going to do is it's going to send this information over to gate 3. Gate 3 is where you guys kind of have a full database of deficiencies by project. So this is very crucial.
Yeah, so just to add to that, like Brent said, it's very important that it's labeled correctly so that it extracts the information correctly into gate 3. I mean, I can show very quickly what that looks like in gate 3. Brent, are you okay if I share my screen for 2 seconds?
Yeah, of course. Go for it.
Okay, thanks. Because some of you will probably want to use it or need to use it. So let me know if you can see my screen.
Yep.
Perfect. So in gate 3, when you get to your home screen on the left-hand side, the menu bar, you'll see reports and analytics. You want to come over to project intelligence under quality. And this is where any tasks are labeled deficiency, they're extracted, and here, I don't have anything in here because this is a, I don't have access to this project, so, but it would be populated here. And I can show you in the best practice what that looks like. So something like this, okay? And it's very important, again, that it's labeled correctly because that information is also extracted and pulled into the IPR and PMR reports, okay? Thank you. I'll
Can I
give
ask a
this
question?
feedback.
Is it
Yeah.
only the deficiency label that will cause that to come into this gate 3 section?
Correct. That's correct,
Okay.
yeah. Yep. Great question, thanks. I'll stop sharing now.
Go ahead and reshare. All right. We can also add a lot of different watchers. So if we have one main assignee, because we can only have one, we can still include multiple people to get notifications on this particular task by adding them as watchers. And then I can send them all messages specifically through this one deficiency. And I can add content too. I can add a photo. To identify the deficiency. And that's how we create a task on web. I do want to show a more detailed task. This is an example of like an in-wall above ceiling workflow that is very common within Elliston. So we'll have a task in every single room. And in that task, I've seen it done two different ways depending on the project requirements here. We'll either have a checklist that we run through to identify everything that's been roughed in, whether it's compliant or not, or we have a series of forms. I've seen one form that encompasses a checklist for all trades that have responsibilities for in-wall and above ceiling installation within that room. Or I've seen one checklist form for each individual subcontractor. So again, if we're a superintendent, we walk into the room, go over to my iPad here. I walk into that room, open up that plan sheet. I open up the task. I can see from a very high level that the HVA sub is complete because that form turned to blue. I can open up the electrical sub, right? I can open up the checklist and I can see what's deficient or what's open within this particular room. Or if we're using the checklist, it's still kind of the same concept. I've either seen a checklist or a form. I've never really seen both. It's usually you're utilizing a form for checklists or you're using a checklist. Now, this task view is a little bit different than the web version. If I want to go to the attributes, I click the edit button up in the top right-hand corner, and this is where I can change the status, the category, the assignee, all that good stuff, right? Add watchers, change the assignee. If I hit the back button here in the top left-hand corner, I go to the content side, the forms, the checklists, the messages, the photos. So if I wanted to add a photo to this task, I just click the camera icon, select take photo, and then I can take a picture of that deficiency or the completion of that deficiency. Additionally, if I want to create a form, I just click on form. I hit the little plus button at the top, select my template, give it a name, and I can always use voice to text as well. So I can hit that little microphone down below, concrete pour building 1. The form is going to populate on the right-hand side, and then I can literally just open up each individual drop-down menu, put in the date, and just, put in these required fields. For the checklist and notes, I tap 1 for complete, 2 for deficient, 3 for not applicable, or I tap it a 4th time to open that checklist item back up. And then if you see a little line underneath the description of the line item here, that's where we can put in our notes. Forming is not complete. If I scroll down, I'll see an area for photos, and this is where I can add photos directly to my form as well. Go ahead and sign. I can sign myself. Signature's gonna populate, and then I can update the status, and I'm good to go. Go back to that quality control form. I can click details as well, and I can, before I submit it, I can choose a different assignee and then submit it. And then finally, if I go to plans, creating a task is very similar to the web version. I can hit that pop-up menu. It's actually on the right-hand side. The version's on the left-hand side, a little bit different than the web version. But I literally just tap that task icon, tap where the deficiency is happening. I tap in the enter title field, drywall damage, select a category. We're just pecking away at our device, right? So I can put in a location, start and end date, manpower cost label, right? Deficiency, always want to choose that.
Brent, sorry, can I just add to that? So the person
Yeah.
that asked me a question about the labels, I just went back to double check. So correction on that. There are different labels that are pre-populated by the system admins. So when your project is set up, is created in FieldWire, it's in the best practices guide that I'm going to share with everyone afterwards, but deficiency is one of them. There's third-party inspection and internal inspection, and there's a few others. So I guess it depends on how your team's going to handle everything, but there are a few different labels that are automatically pre-populated. So I just wanted to stand corrected and let you know.
Yep. Thank you. Again, I can take a photo here or multiple photos. I can hit this icon here to send a message. Please have this corrected by Thursday. Now everybody's going to get that push notification like a text message, but communicated directly through this task. If I hit the plus button down here, this is where I can add a form or a checklist or anything like that. And then if this deficiency is prevalent, in this room, I can hold it, I can duplicate it, and I can create another deficiency in a different area. The only thing that's not going to populate over are messages, photos, because it's a different location. But everything else, attribute-wise, is going to be the same. So you might have to change the location if you guys are leveraging those locations, if that drywall damage happens to be in a different room when you're duplicating these tasks. Any questions on any of that before I turn it back over to Sue for best practices? All right. Anything that's not clear? All right. Back to you, Sue.
Okay, thank you. Thanks, Brent. That was great. Okay, just some considerations. I'm going to end it off here. So again, FieldWire is a collaboration tool, but Gate3 is our system of record. And then all processes like creating RFIs, site instructions, change orders, DSRs, that must be completed in Gate3 first. And then, you know, your files like RFIs, change orders, that can be linked in FieldWire. And then you always want to upload the latest drawing versions, and FieldWire will carry forward tasks and markups automatically. And then just one thing to note, FieldWire does use the upload date, date of upload, as where Gate3 uses the creation date when you're creating drawings or importing drawings. And then only users added to projects, added to the FieldWire project or your FieldWire project can access links. I think that's still the case, right, Brent? They have to be added to the project in order, like if you were to export a file or report with links, they can't access it if they're not, unless they're added to the project. Think.
Can you repeat that?
So let's say that you're closing off a project, right? And you want to export it to, say, like an external, like a client or something. And then there's links in that report or that file, those files. The last I was informed was that they can't access those links unless they're added to your FieldWire project.
Yeah, there's some links like photos that will be accessible on the export. But yeah, there's some links that will direct you back to the project, and you have to be a user within that project to access it.
Yeah, and that's where it can get a little tricky. So in that case, if you ever have a question regarding maybe closeout and exporting to a client or something, I'm going to put contacts name or email address in here, and you can reach out to them. And then in addition to that, when it does come to closeout, so you're finishing up on a project and you need to close out the FieldWire project, just reach out to the service desk to make sure that everything's exported properly, right? Correctly. And again, there's a FieldWire best practices. Again, I highly recommend that you read through it, go through it, and I will be sending it out, and it just outlines how to set up and manage your project and basically cover everything we discussed today as far as best practices go. And that is it for me. Any questions?
Yeah, I actually had one question about reports and generating reports. Is there a way to do that with full resolution photos?
Yes, so there is a way. So let me share my screen again. I did forget to touch on this. So if I go back into FieldWire, one of the things that you can do is go to the task module, and we can generate a task report. And these task reports, let me pick one. We have a PDF summary, a PDF detailed report, and a CSV report. If we generate a PDF detailed report, it's going to pull in all these tasks that have these applicable features. So completed and verified, label as deficiency, and we can download that report. And this is a template, so we can download this or have this automatically sent to internal or external users daily, weekly, or monthly via email, or we can download it and email it out. Yeah. Sorry, I'm having some issues with screen sharing, and it has been a problem for the last couple weeks now. Let me generate that report and show you what it looks like. The suspense is killing me. Anyways, what it will do, so let me
I'm
open up.
not sure if I have. See if I have.
That's okay. I can just export one of these individual tasks as a PDF. It'll basically show the same thing. Same with photos. Cool. So let me go ahead and export this as a PDF. This is more or less what the task report would look like. I know we're at time. Sorry about this.
That's okay.
But yeah, the screen share has been slowing down our systems here internally big time. Little embarrassing.
No, that's okay. I can, if you
Yeah,
wanna,
I'll just have a poke around with it a little bit more. I think I got the gist of it, so.
yeah, it's pretty,
Gotcha.
pretty straightforward, pretty intuitive. I just go over to generate reports in your task menu and you can select.
Yeah.
There's a lot of options there to select from, so, in how you want to see that report.
Yeah, the detailed report though is going to pull all the photos, form attachments into each individual task. There'll be a table of contents, so you can organize it by location or by trade or by status. And that table of contents is hyperlinkable, so you can click on a task. It'll take you to the PDF preview of that task. It'll show all the task information up in the top left-hand corner, where the location is. It'll have the plan map. It'll have all the photos, messages, and form links that are associated with that task as well in one consolidated report.
Any other questions? Okay, so this recording will be available in the Teams chat. And I will be following up with an email. So thank you all for joining. Brent, thank you so much. That was wonderful.
course.
And I wish everyone a wonderful weekend.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks. Take care.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thanks, guys. See you later.
Bye-bye.